What does it mean to live well as a human being? This timeless question lies in this presentation. We'll follow the story of Copper, a curious teenager, as he grows through personal failures, realizations, and moments of empathy. The lessons he learns still resonate deeply today. Copper is an ordinary 15-year-old living in pre-war Japan. He goes to school, has friends, and is full of questions about society, life, and himself. One day, while walking through the neighborhood, he sees a milkman delivering heavy cans every morning. That evening, he talks about it with his uncle, his mentor and emotional guide. Instead of giving answers, his uncle writes thoughtful letters, inviting Copper to reflect on his own observations. In his letter, the uncle explains how human beings are deeply interconnected. Every action, no matter how small, ripples through a web of social relationships. The book emphasizes a key idea. We don't live in isolation. We are part of something bigger, a shared society shaped by countless unseen efforts around us. Later, Copper experiences moral failure. Under peer pressure, he betrays a good friend. The guilt consumes him, and he finds himself avoiding both his friend and his own reflection. His uncle responds with a letter that cuts deep. What matters is not avoiding mistakes, but what you do after you've made one. Will you run, or will you face it honestly? Copper wrestles with his guilt, but he eventually chooses the harder path, apologizing sincerely. It's a painful but freeing moment that marks real emotional growth. This turning point teaches Copper about conscience, not as a rule book, but as an inner compass that must be nurtured through self-reflection and courage. The uncle's letters expand further, touching on economics, history, and science. He urges Copper to look at how the world functions and what kind of role he might play in it. He writes about Galileo and Newton, showing that science is not just facts, but a way of seeing truth. He also connects these lessons to ethics and responsibility. These wide-ranging reflections help Copper understand that knowledge is not just to be memorized. It is to be lived. Thinking deeply is part of living well. The uncle also discusses how people throughout history stood up against injustice. Even when small or powerless, humans have the capacity for dignity and resistance. He encourages Copper to think not only about his own comfort, but about fairness, kindness, and how his choices affect others, especially those with less power. Through these reflections, Copper slowly develops a personal philosophy. He begins asking, what kind of person do I want to be in the eyes of others and in my own eyes? One letter introduces the concept of the structure of the self, how our actions, emotions, and thoughts form layers that shape who we are. Copper begins to observe himself from the outside. The book does not tell Copper what to believe. Instead, it asks him, and us, to live as questioners. The goal is not certainty, but self-awareness and responsibility. The title, How Do You Live, is not a command. It's a gentle but persistent question, one that echoes through Copper's journey and invites the reader to join him in thought. Though first published in 1937, the book continues to be read and loved in Japan. It recently gained renewed attention as the inspiration behind Hayao Miyazaki's film of the same name. Both the book and the movie ask us to examine the invisible forces that shape our lives and to decide, even in small ways, what it means to live with dignity. So how should you live? The answer may be different for each person, but the journey begins the same way, with humility, reflection, and the courage to face yourself. As Copper learned, to live well is not about never falling. It is about getting up again and walking forward with your eyes open to the world and your heart open to others.